Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is my July favorites. I did not do June favorites because you already know I was moving and I didn't wear a lot of makeup. It was way too hot anyway. So I didn't do a June favorites, but my June favorite would have been not the moving, but my house. The new house is still awesome and exciting to live in, so that was my June favorite for sure. Now with my July favorites, I think it's a pretty big amount because I skipped June, but I'm sure as soon as I finish filming, I'll forget that there was something else I wanted to mention. So if that happens, I'll just include it in August. So I'm going to start with skincare. I have two skincare favorites. The first one is the Tatcha Polished Classic Rice Enzyme Powder. So it's just a powder that you use on your face and it exfoliates and it's gentle enough for everyday use. I've been adding the powder directly onto my Clarisonic, getting it wet and then just scrubbing my face with it. It has made a huge difference in like the texture on my forehead and a little bit on my cheeks. So I have to say I've seen a huge difference with this stuff. It is very pricey. I believe this size retails for about $65. But they do have the smaller size at Sephora, which I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's $20. So I would get the sample size or maybe just ask for a sample because a little does go a long way. It'll last you a long time. But I have been loving this. I've seen a huge difference in my skin texture, so I had to give this a mention. My next favorite is the Glam Glow Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer. And it is in Nude Glow. I haven't seen any other shades of this, but let me open up the packaging. I do love the bright pink box. But inside, now this is the jar itself, and I'll open it up and try to show you the inside of it. So it's got a pink tint to it, and it smells so freaking good. I would say it's a mixture between like a cotton candy or like Skittles. Some sort of like sweet fruity candy is what it smells like. It's so good. And this is it on my hand. I'll just kind of swatch it out, rub it out for you. Can you see that glow that it gives? It's super gorgeous and just, it's really pretty. And the smell does linger quite a while. I know when I used it this morning, I could smell it lingering, and for me, that's totally fine because I love the scent. If you're sensitive to like super sweet kind of candy-like smells, you may not like it, but I do love this, and I think it makes just a beautiful glow to your skin to wear under foundation. So I have been loving this, and I definitely recommend getting a sample first just to make sure that you do like the way it looks and feels and smells and things like that, because this retails for about $48, I believe. Okay, next I want to go into beauty tools. I have 4 of them here. So the first one I want to talk about, don't judge me, actually they're all dirty because they're favorites, so obviously I used them today. But the first one is the Real Technique sponge. Now I had gotten this a while back and I didn't love it. I don't know why. Maybe I had like a weird kind of faulty one, but I was like, fine, I'll just try it again. And this time the texture is a little bit softer, and I've just been using this a ton. I've been grabbing it over my beauty blender, which is crazy because I never thought I would ever stray from that, but this is really good and it's way cheaper than the beauty blender, so I would definitely recommend this guy. And if you get like a weird funky one or you don't like it, try it again because it happened to me. I think maybe they just have bad batches once in a while, because since I got this one, and I've had this one for maybe 2 months, and I've just been in love with it. Okay, next is a brush that's actually in my giveaway, and if you haven't checked that out or entered, I will definitely link that in the iCard up here somewhere for you. But this brush is the e.l.f. It doesn't say on the brush, but it's like the Beautifully Bare blending brush, I think. I love to use this for bronzer. It's just perfect shape for it. It's like a thicker fan brush, and it just deposits the powder just beautifully. It doesn't matter what contour powder I use or bronzing powder. It just deposits it beautifully and just kind of airbrushes it out into the cheeks and blends out nicely. So I definitely recommend this one because I believe it is around $6. It's a really good brush. The next brush I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild, and again I don't have the names, it's not on the brush, but it's the crease brush, I think. It's got like the fluffy tip to it. This brush is so good at blending out your transitional shade. I love to put it in my transition shade and just kind of sweep it up on the upper part of my eye, closer to the brow bone, and it just really blends out the color beautifully, and it just makes blending super easy. And I think these are around $1, so you can't beat that. This is an amazing brush. Last makeup tool is the exact opposite. All the other ones were very affordable. This one is not. This is quite expensive. I don't remember the price because I've had it for a little while now, but it's probably at least in the $50 range. But it's the Makeup Forever brush number 158. So it's a dual-sided brush. I love actually both sides for blush specifically because I can take this side, especially if you have a powder like the Kat Von D, how it has the two tones, and you can take the angled side. It also is wavy bristles in here, and you can go with the deeper color and just kind of like contour your cheeks with your blush on that side, and then flip it over and use the light side and deposit a little bit lighter of a color just to help kind of blend and contour your cheeks. And it's perfect for doing that. It's very similar to the Kat Von D brush. I have that one too, but I've just been reaching for this a lot more, and I really love it. It's really, really soft, but it is expensive, so it's not a must-have. But if you're looking to just splurge on yourself, this is definitely a good brush to do that with. Plus you're getting 2 for 1, so maybe that'll help you. Okay, next I want to talk about a face palette. It's the only like face palette, there's face products, but this one in particular is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill collaboration. I have been loving this palette, and I really do love every single color in here, which is usually not common for me to like everything, but this really is gorgeous, especially this blush shade right here called Amaretto. That is right up my alley, and I love that one. I already own Champagne Pop, so of course I love that, and then Prosecco Pop is beautiful as well. It's the only goldish highlighter that I have that's like a true gold. So I had to definitely get this because it had everything in it that worked for my skin tone in particular, and I just really love these colors. So if you can get your hands on it, I would, because I know it's limited edition, and it's a good value because I think the value is over $100, and this retails for I think like 50 something. But it is a good palette, and I love it, and the packaging's gorgeous. And yeah, I've just been loving this. I've been using it almost every day. Okay, speaking of highlights, this is another highlight that I've been loving. And I will say the other Laura Geller highlighter, the Gilded Honey, I've never actually gotten my hands on. I've never seen it in stock anywhere I've gone, so that's fine. I'll just live with this one. This one is the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator in Peach Glow. So that is what it looks like. It is a really pretty color. So, can you see the swatch right there? So pretty. It is the same formula as the other gelato swirls. It just has a really pretty kind of natural sheen to it, and definitely recommend checking out Peach Glow. It's super pretty color. Next I want to talk about a blush that I've been reaching for a lot more than some of my other single blushes, and it is the Lorac Buildable Blush in Technicolor. I guess maybe because it's just a summery color, it's just so pretty, and it's just got such a beautiful texture, and it's creamy, and it lasts a really long time on the skin. There it is right there. It's kind of a deeper coral with like some strong orange undertones, but It just is so pretty in the summer, and I've really been loving this color. I'm actually wearing it today, and yeah, I've just been loving this. Next are some eyeshadows. This first one I want to talk about is my like single eyeshadow palette that I keep in like my top drawer that I reach for all the time. And the one in particular that I want to talk about is this one right here, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Orange Soda. This is such a beautiful transition color. It's what I've been using every time I do my makeup. I love this color. It works perfectly for my skin tone. It just blends out everything beautifully, whether I do a warm look, a cool look, it doesn't matter. This just is the perfect transition shade for me. So I had to mention that. And then I also wanted to mention this Makeup Geek, what is this? The Contour in Bad Habit. This is really not what I would use as a contour. It's more of a bronzy shade on me, but I do love it for bronzing. I've been using it a lot with this brush to bronze up all over the face, and I've been loving that. So yeah, I've just been loving these two in combination together as well. Next, I want to talk about the palette that everyone is giving so much praise and hype to, and again, it's for good reason because it is awesome. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Now I know I got this for my birthday, which wasn't that long ago, but I've used every single color in here, and I have to say that's not common for me. In palettes, I'll kind of pick and choose different colors and then reach for a different palette for a different color that I like out of that one. But this is literally one that I don't need to take any other shadow with me. I can get everything just in this palette, which I really, really appreciate that. And these colors are stunning. Even the reds are very wearable. I really didn't think I would like that, and I just kept looking at it at Sephora, and I kept just kind of playing with it, and I finally just said I have to have that, and I'm so glad I did because it really is a beautiful palette. The last palette I want to talk about is the Makeup Revolution palette in Neutrals versus Neutrals. This is very similar to the Peach palette. There are the colors right there. Especially over here, there's some peach tones, and it is almost identical to the Peach palette. Even this shade over here is dead on dupe for the Nectar shade that's in that palette. So, and this is very affordable. You can get these at Ulta. I definitely recommend checking this out, especially if you wanted the Peach palette and couldn't get your hands on it. This is a $10 alternative, and you won't be disappointed. They're beautiful colors, and they last all day, and I think the formula is really fantastic. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This should come as no surprise because I do have very dry skin, and this foundation is gorgeous. I'm wearing it today. I've been wearing it most days. It has such a beautiful finish to it. It's got a very nice coverage. You can get it to full coverage with just 2 layers. I usually only do 1 layer. I think that's enough for me, but I love this, and I'm so glad that it's a drugstore foundation that is such good quality because it has replaced my favorites as far as my higher end foundations. I reach for this far more often than I do those. So definitely check this out. I think you will love it. If you have oily skin, you may not, but if you have normal to dry, definitely check this out because it is amazing. All right, I'm going from a drugstore back to high end, and this is an oldie but a goodie. It is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and mine is in NC20. I've just been reaching for this a lot more lately. I don't know why. I just saw it there and thought, well, I haven't used that in a while. Let me pull it back out. And I really do love the coverage of this. It's very full coverage. It lasts all day. It really is a great concealer, and I know it's a little bit expensive, but you're getting a lot of product. I mean, I've had this one for I think a year and a half, and I've still got a lot of uses left in here. So I really do think it's worth the money because it's gonna go a very long way. All right, my last group of favorites is my brow products. I have 4 to mention. 2 are high-end and 2 are drugstore. So I'm gonna start with the drugstore options. Now this is drugstore price, but you can't find it at the drugstore. but it is the ColourPop brow pencil. This particular one is in Arched Auburn. I think this is the perfect color for me. I use it every single day and I just love the look that it gives me, and I haven't even run out of this and I've used it a lot. I don't know how many uses are left because when you crank it up you can't crank it back down, so I went ahead and ordered 2 more backups just to be safe because I don't want to run out of this. And the next drugstore favorite is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. This one I have in the shade light to medium because the medium shade is way too dark. So be very careful with that. These run darker than they claim to be. I would think light to medium would be much more blonde, but this is actually what I would consider to be a medium brown. But I do love this one. I think it is beautiful on the brows. It holds them in place all day. It's much more affordable than the Anastasia brow gel. And I've been reaching for this over that one, I would say for a good 2 to 3 months now. I've really been loving this a lot. And my last 2 favorites both happen to be from Benefit. The first one is the Precisely My Brow Pencil. I really love the formula of this. I think the packaging's really cute too. But this is just a really great brush. On the spoolie on this end is really good. And the formula inside of the pencil is just, something is different about it. It's really good. It's a little bit different than the Anastasia one. I think this may be just a tad bit drier, but it just gives such a natural look when you use it. So I've been loving this and I will definitely be repurchasing it. I think this has replaced my Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I didn't think would ever happen. But I really do love this one. It is a little bit more expensive though. This one is $24 and the Anastasia ones are $21. So you're paying a few dollars more, but I do like this formula a lot better. And my last favorite is the Benefit Ka-Brow, and it's basically their brow pomade. And this is also in the shade number 3. I like this formula. Again, it's a little bit drier than the Dip Brow, but in such a good way. I don't want to like turn you off by saying it's dry because it just has something about the formula that makes it look a lot more natural. They look a lot less harsh and drawn on, especially with a pomade that can get very Sharpie brow looking very quickly. So this one I just like a lot better, and I think the packaging is adorable, and it comes with the brush already in. You just snap it into the lid and you've got a brush, and it's a great brush. I like it just fine. In fact, I haven't even had to use the Anastasia brow brush that I just bought not that long ago. I haven't even had to use it since I've been using this little guy. It works just fine. Alright guys, thank you so much for sitting through that. I'm not sure exactly how long the video is. Of course I'm going to edit and try to cut it down. But thank you for sticking it out with me. I had to kind of play catch up a little bit with my favorites, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And that is it for today's video. I'm going to run out of here and get ready for my camping trip that starts tomorrow. So excited for that. But thank you so much for stopping by. I always appreciate you spending your time with me. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.